friends, this week I recorded my PowerPoint, I saved it as an MP4 and then I uploaded it to YouTube. When making audio presentations, we always need to be cognizant of equity, and by having video web-based, it means that individuals do not need to be impacted by download speeds or not having access to certain file types. YouTube also allows for closed captions, which is also a part of digital equity and inclusion. So, welcome to week 4. Crazy that it's already week 4. Before I introduce week 4, I want to recap the week 3 conversations. Fantastic job, and I appreciate that you were honest in sharing that you didn't even know what an AUP was and that you just naturally referred to the literature to support your contributions to the conversation. It was very telling that nearly all of you had no recollection of signing the policy. How can we be expected to adhere to a policy if we don't even remember signing it? And many of you shared that it was like trying to find a needle in a haystack just to locate the policy. Garrett and Stacey, on the other hand, are at 2 schools where the AUP/RUP is well advertised and well implemented. What is interesting is that some of you are in K-12 districts and have a district policy for the whole K-12 grade levels. We also talked about the wording of the documents not being necessarily child-friendly and the actual policies perhaps being more about protecting the equipment than the user. There was not a lot of mention of SIPA and COPPA, but keep in mind the age requirement for SIPA and COPPA could also impact your students' access. I want to remind you that it is federal law that computers accessed by minors must have filtering software. Think about public libraries and the different sections they have for computers. I also found it interesting that you shared you are not particularly familiar with various resources such as Common Sense Media, Be Internet Awesome. However, a lot of you mentioned that you have GoGuardian or other software that allows you to see what students are doing. Despite our concerns, there's some really great things shared. It's great that some of you are already thinking you need to have conversations with your students, your colleagues, and administration about these policies. Conversations such as this show me you're already addressing ISTE coach indicators and the equitable and inclusive education goals of our college. Many of you thought student-created policies are a good idea. You all agreed that we need a multi-pronged approach, not a one-shot with sign here. Some of you shared some fantastic lesson ideas. As you move into applying this conversation to the AUP assignment, think about advocacy and equity. I also recommend you consider your role as a tech leader and the importance of modeling. You have several tasks for week 4. First, complete the AUP assignment. Make sure you look at my announcement, the Padlet from week 3, where I give some more details, as well as read the assignment and the rubric carefully. If you are opting to collaborate because you are with someone at the same school, keep in mind your final product should reflect the work of more than one person. Please make sure you use the Fullerton voice thread. This will ensure your presentation has closed captions. You are going to get constant reminders in this program about digital inclusion. Just as you model digital citizenship, you should always be cognizant of digital inclusion. You will submit the link to your voice thread in Canvas. Make sure you check permissions before submitting. You should also use what you've gleaned from this week's conversation. As you think about tips, it's not enough to say, teach the students about the policy or get parents to sign the policy. Your job in this presentation is to give some actual lesson ideas, hopefully student-centered ones that teachers can implement. It's also time to think about the DE experience assignment. This is the major assignment for this course. After you have thoroughly read the assignment directions, share some ideas in discussion 4.1. Keep in mind the differences you noted in weeks 1 and 2 about remote versus distance learning. The key with your DE experience is having your learners engage with other learners or experts who they would normally not have access to. And of course, we have our group meetings. These meetings will be in my Zoom room, and each group has only 45 minutes, so make sure you come to the meeting prepared. We'll go over quick summaries of the literature where you can refer to your annotations, not read them, and then we'll have a conversation about the literature as a whole in relation to your topic. It is actually quite an eye-opening discussion as we get to see how literature reviews are basically born. Finally, some tips. Consider downloading the Canvas app if you have a smartphone. You can do a quick class check-in from anywhere. Also, if you're not in the habit of checking your Fullerton email, you can get announcements sent to an alternate email. The link for directions are on the transcript and below as a comment. Most importantly, stay healthy, stay helpful, and stay calm.